Now on old vehicles, you're going to find the high-low beam switch is going to be down here by your left foot. Now when you're cruising down the highway in the middle of the night and you hit that switch to switch them from high beam to low beams, that switch is going to stick to the floor. And when it does, the lights are going to shut off. Now, don't panic at that point, but you're going to be driving 65 miles an hour down the road in the pitch black. So just stay calm, keep hitting that fucking switch with your foot, and eventually it will kick up and they will turn back on and everything will be great. Now this truck will run the best it can possibly run when you're at home or in the garage, but when you're out at a gas station or you're at a store, it's not going to restart on you. That's just the fucking way it is. Now you want to get it running without looking like a complete dumbass. So first thing you want to do, you don't want to start cranking it without the accelerator. Now if it doesn't fire up at that point, hold the throttle to the floor and keep on cranking. Now if it still doesn't fire at that point, start pumping the living fuck out of it, and hopefully after that she starts and runs minty good. The best part is the engine's only running on 6 cylinders, so you got to keep feathering the throttle as you pump the brakes when you're pulling up to a stop sign. But don't worry about that. The thing you do to fix that is just put dual exhaust on. When you're turning right at the stop sign, the blinker comes on, but when you come back, see that blinker switch won't shut off, so you got to manually bring it back to the neutral position. But if you're sitting at a long red light somewhere, you're feathering the throttle and you're pumping the brakes there and kind of loading up on fuel, just go ahead and pop her up into neutral. Wait for that red light to turn green. Keep your hands at 10 and 2 at all times, because this truck doesn't have power steering, so if you're backing up and you got the steering wheel cranked, you hit them brakes, that steering wheel is going to spin in 1,000,000 miles an hour in the other direction, and it's probably going to break a finger. Now, if you're pulling up behind somebody and you're pumping the brakes, brake pedal goes to the floor, there's a real good chance you just blew a brake line. There's an emergency brake down there, but that's not going to do you a damn good because it ain't been used in 70 years. What you're going to want to do is come up and go from drive to reverse and then start revving on that throttle and get that torque converter tightened up to get yourself moving backwards. At that point, you're out of options. Fuel gauge usually works pretty good, but it can bounce around, so you want to keep a stick in the box. Stick I like to tuck right up underneath this rail here and keep it just in case the fuel gauge don't work. I can slide her down in there and we can check the level. These old Fords have the fuel tank behind the seat, and them fuel tanks can get rusty. It'll plug up your filter and then the truck will quit running on the road. Which usually isn't a big deal, but if you're going out on a long trip, you're going to want to take an extra fuel jug with a whole bunch of fuel line with it, just as a safety precaution, or if you got to pull over in a parking lot somewhere and siphon some gas. Now if you ever end up getting pulled over and Officer fucking Corn Nuts tells you got a brake light that's not working, just tell him to go back there and just tap on her a little bit and she'll come to life. Common deal, these old trucks were a body ground system and you'll have that. It's just going to happen. Well, the crack in the windshield here, you're going to totally forget that that's even there. Now that might seem a little bit irritating, but the thing you're going to do is you're going to put in a brand new windshield. You're going to go about 2 days driving truck and a piece of gravel is going to fly out and it's going to re-break that windshield, so don't even try fixing it. If you got an intruder trying to break into your truck and you want to lock them out, you can't do that on these old trucks because they didn't come with a lock inside. The only way to lock this door is to shut the door and lock with a key from the outside. The way to unlock that door is to bump the handle up and then it'll unlock. Now you might be thinking to yourself, this truck sounds like a goddamn pain in the ass to drive, but let me tell you what, that's why this truck comes equipped with not 1 but 2 rear view mirrors so the passenger can help the driver drive.
What the fuck actually does?
All right, so do you think you got this?
Oh yeah.
Ah, boy.